in the labyrinth pattern of our thoughts and home, and the byways of our intimate desire, in the complex corners crowded with a dream, in the complex corners crowded with a dream. He's trying to see, she has got so many dreams. What are the dreams of life? Let there be love, let there be joy, let there be sweetness, let there be harmony, let there be power, let there be knowledge. These are the dreams of life. He's trying to understand all of them completely, see. And the byways of our intimate desire, in the complex corners crowded with a dream, and rounds crossed by an intrigue of irrelevant round. Well, this is what is happening in life. Rounds crossed by rounds, you see. A wanderer straying amid fugitive sea, he lost its signs and chase, each failing gaze, chase and chase each failing gaze. You see, he is trying to catch the hint, the charade, the silhouettes, no gesture, he is trying to catch it, but that is also being missed, you see. Ever he met keywords, ignorant of their key. What that key, see, you are given a certain clue, but then what that clue is, of that you have no knowledge, you are ignorant of that. Ever he met keywords, ignorant of their key. What is the significance of those things? He has no understanding of that, no clue of that, no grip of things over that, you see. A sun that has dazzled its own eye of sight. A sun that dazzled its own eye of sight. What an image. A sun dazzled its own eye. What an image. You see, I mean, our eyes don't dazzle ourselves by themselves, you see. But then here is the sun. Means here, what is the sun here? The sun here is at the best your knowledge, your way of understanding things through mind. Mind is your sun, and that mind itself is dazzled by what it sees. Mind is not able to understand what it is really seeing things at all, it's completely see. Mind itself is not unable to do that thing. A sun that dazzles its own eye of sight, a luminous enigma, brilliant hood, lit the dense purple barrier of thought sky, lit the dense purple barrier of, so it is that sun which is trying to lit the barriers of thought, you see, completely. The mental being. A dim last trance showed to the night her star. What a beautiful image. A dim last trance showed to the night her star. Night is not aware of it, but a dim last star. Trance is there, kind of music is there, understanding is there, depth understanding. A dim I am last trance, spondy, showed to talking. The night, I am her stars, and I am. The line is very simple, but see the rhythm. A dim, last trance. Suddenly, last trance acquires a power, you see. Last trance. Spondy, use that strength. A dim, then I am. Last trance is spondy. Showed to talking. To the spirit. To the night, and abyss. Her stars. So that is the brick of the feet. And spondy, trochee, anapest, and I am 5 feet. And the beauty of this line, you see how it is powerful, this line, poetically. What a magic this line. A dim last trance showed to the night her star. See the rhythm, the way in which the sound is moving. A dim last trance showed to the night her star. It's the rhythm, that's the poetry, that is the beauty of line, that is the real thing, what you have to understand. Not the thought, but the rhythm, the way in which the words are moving, the way in which the sound is flowing. It is that which is more important than the thought content in this line, you see. A dim last trance showed to the night a star. And the whole line is a monosyllabic line. Each word is a single syllable. Dim, last, trance, showed to the night her stars. You see, a kind of hammering into you, you see. Sort of hammering into you. See. A dim, last, trance, showed to the night her stars. And in addition to that, the kind of a connectedness which comes through alliteration. R. See how many R's are there. Large, trans, her, stars, 4 R's in the line. The R alliteration is very powerful here. See. So that is the magic of the line. That is the poetry, and it is that which you have to more understand and grasp. And when you read this line, a dim last and shows the night star, a dim last and shows the night star, a dim last and shows the night star. A kind of a vibration sets in you. You start breathing something differently by simply repeating that line repeatedly. This line. See, it is not there in the earlier line. Let the dense purple barrier of thought sky. It has a different rhythm. But when you come to this line, a dim last strand show to the light. Now, actually, from a metrical point of view, purely from a metrical point of view, large was not necessary from a metric. A dim trance showed to the night. See, I could have managed. There are 10 syllables, you see. But then that large is something which is very powerful as a poetic effect, you see. Large land. And again, it has to be large. It has not to be huge. It has not to be big. It has to be large alone. No other word would do than large. If you want to put an adjective for trance, it is not immense, quiet, calm trance. It's not that. It has to be large. Then the rhythm goes. So that is the magic of poetry of Savitri, you see. That is the real thing which you have to understand. And when you are reading Savitri, you have to really go into these nuances of the thing. A sun that dazzled his own eye of sight, a sun that dazzled his own eye of sight, illumined Enigma's brilliant tune, lit the dim purple barrier of thoughts of sky, a dim light and showed the night a star. Now you see the vibration completely different, when you read that line, you see. You don't really then bother about the thought content, about the sense content of it. The rhythm itself is carrying you and trying to tell you, see. And in that whole process, the power of the rhythm is such that although he is talking of uncertain things, of hazy things and all that haziness goes away in that rhythm. In that rhythm, that haziness. A sun that dazzled the soul, eye of sight, a luminous enigma's brilliant tune, let the dense purple barrier of thoughts of sky, a dim light and show the night a star, a dim light and show the night a star, a dim light and show the night a star. See, that is the magic of Savitri, you see, and that is what you have to understand. And that is more important than the sense part of it in a way. See, in this line, a dim last trance show to the night star. The thought content is very small, but it is not that. What is more important is the sound content, the sense, the sound, the music of it, you see, the harmony of it, the rhythm also of it. A dim last trance show the night star. That is what makes Savitri mantrik. I will say this line is almost mantrik in that sense. See, mantra does not mean chanting like that, but the sound, the vibration which comes from a very high source of sound. A dim light and shows the night star, as if sitting near an open window's gap, an open window's gap, window's gap, as if sitting near an open window's gap. He read by lightning flash on crowding flash chapters of her metaphysical romance, chapters of her metaphysical romance, her life's metaphysical romance. What is metaphysical romance? What is metaphysics? What is the raison d'etre? What is the purpose? What she is aiming at? Romance. Romance not in the ordinary sense. Romance means basically a grand, majestic, beautiful narrative. In fact, romance had that connotation. Romance not in the sense of the fiction as we understand. In fact, I got a list of words for this romance. Yeah. I made a list of some of these things. Metaphysical romance, adventurous story, heroic exploits, soul's search for lost reality, soul's search for lost reality. That is romance. Romance not we understand, the way in which we normally commonly understand is see. Adventurous story, heroic exploits, soul's search for lost reality. That is the metaphysical romance. She is looking for something. That is An Asian Adventure. Chapters of a Metaphysical Romance. It's a book now, you see. Of the soul's search for lost reality. That is what we are seeing now, for lost reality. And her fictions drawn from spirit's authentic fact look to us fiction, but they are actually drawn from the spirit itself. So there is a kind of an authenticity in what she is telling. Now we talk of mythology, we dismiss them as mythology or fictions or imagination, but then there is a kind of a reality in them that we don't understand. And Greek mythology or Indian mythology, there is a reality of a different level, of a different kind. There is an occult truth behind them, and we have to grasp that thing, you see. That is, we dismiss as fiction, but it is not really fiction. It is a truth at a different level. For us, it appears as a fiction here. And her fiction drawn from spirit's authentic fan, her caprices and conceits and meanings locked, her rash, unseizable phrase and misread term. This is her metaphysical romance, you see. These are the examples of her metaphysical romance, you see. So search for lost reality. Fiction drawn from spirit's authentic fact. Caprices and meanings locked. Rash, seizable freaks and mistreated term. These are the aspects of her metaphysical romance. He has given some examples here. He simply does not leave the description only with the chapters of her metaphysical romance. It does not stop with that. He gives certain examples also to elucidate what are those aspects of romance, you see. In fact, that is the kind of an elaboration which you see always in Savitri. You make a certain statement, but then you also give certain illustrations of that, and that gives you kind of a fullness of the whole picture, you see. Of the soul's search for lost reality and the fiction drawn from spirit's authentic fact, her caprices and conceits and meanings logged, her rash, unseizable phrase and mystery term, the magnificent wrappings of a secrecy. This is also a part of the romance. Magnificent wrappings of a secrecy. The secrecy is already there, but that secrecy is wrapped, again wrapped, you see. That fold her desirable body out of sight. See? I mean, you can, because she is wrapping herself in that thing, you can't see her body. It has become aware, it has gone out of sight, you see. The magnificent wrappings of a secrecy that fold a desirable body out of sight. The strange, significant form woven on her robe, forms woven on her robe. Her manifold outlines of the souls of things. He saw the false transparencies of thought hue, her rich buckets with imaged fancy sewn, and beautiful man and broidery of disguise. So she is a woman, she is putting a certain robe, and there are designs, there are colors, there are paintings and whatnot. And Ashwapati is trying to read all those things, and behind them he is trying to understand a thing. The magnificent wrappings of a secrecy. He's trying to understand those secrecies which are there behind. See, that fold her desirable body out of sight, the strange, significant forms woven on her robe. He's trying to understand what those forms are there. Nowadays we have got all kind of logos on our clothes, you see. But he's trying to understand what that logo means, you see. Her manifold outlines of the souls of them. He saw her false transparencies of thought hue. Yes, but actually she thinks that it is transparent, but it is not for him. There is something beyond that. You see, because that is why it is a riddle to herself. But for him, he is seeing behind that riddle something also. And beautiful mass and embroideries of this guy, 1,000 baffling faces of the truth. 1,000 baffling faces of the truth. Yeah, each one truth is wearing 1,000 faces here. In fact, this is what happens in our case, you see. Truth, each one has his own truth. The real truth is one, but you see differently, he sees differently, she sees differently, all of us see differently. As if that truth has many faces like that. Well, what you are seeing may not be that truth. But then what you are seeing need not be false. That need not be false. Because if you are really trying to go behind what you are seeing, you will see your truth. And that truth will be connected with that greater truth. Each individual has his own truth to see in things. I see something here, you see something here, he sees something here. Now, what you are saying is the truth which your soul sees in here. He sees the truth which his soul sees in here, and each truth has some kind of a link there completely. You see, so it is not different that way. Means each has its own individual. Means that is how distinctness, the characterization of each person comes into place. You are seeing a certain thing. It is a globe. Then you say it is a crystal globe. You say it is a stone globe. You say a marble globe. Differently like that. You see all that things. 1,000 baffling faces of the truth looked at him from her forms with unknown eyes, and wordless mouths, unrecognizable, spoke from the figures of her masquerade, or peered from the recondite magnificence and subtle splendor of her draperies. So the same image continues of her draperies, recondite magnificence, figures of masquerade. So you put on a certain dress, masquerade yourself. That was a very, very famous kind of a dervish dance in some time, you see, masquerade and worldly. So you people, all the nobles, in fact, that was very common at one time in the Middle Ages, masquerades, you see. The nobles used to put on certain kind of different dresses, and then they could do whatever they like, you see, masquerade. So that nobody recognizes that he is that man or that woman, you see. And wordless mouths, unrecognizable, spoke from the figures of her masquerade, or peered the recondite magnificence and subtle splendor of her drapery.